Hi, guys. This is a recap of Beyond the Gates, Season 2, Episode 86. Before we get to the recap, if you've been to this channel or maybe this is your first time with the content, feel free to leave a comment, and subscribe. How I like to do my recaps, I will give you characters and then I will describe what's going on in the scene. And if I have any observations or anything like that, I will do those at the end of the video. With that being said, let's start the recap with Tomas and Smitty. Tomas and Smitty agreed to meet over the phone, and it's because Smitty wants to know about Lynette Wise, because she's connected to the case he's working on, and Lynette is connected to the case that Tomas is working on. So they agreed to meet at Uptown. And they have a couple scenes where they, share information. Tomas tells Smitty that Lynette is missing and that she accused him of assault with Haley. And he kept saying allegedly. So now Smitty is, interested in the story. And then Smitty tells him that Lynette is a person of interest in something he's working on. She stole money from, I think he told, from Leah. I think he said from Leah. And so they just keep going back and forth with information. And Tomas wants Smitty to include him in anything else that he finds. Okay, now we go to Bill and Naomi. And they're talking about Chelsea's case, Madison's case. And he's, feeling great because they're working together, and, he wants them to continue to work together. Naomi is about to leave, and he convinces her to stay and have a drink. So she says yes, and, he pours her a drink, and they sit for a little bit, and then Haley comes in. And then Naomi, she wants to get up and leave, but Bill convinces her to stay for a little while and spend time with him and Haley. And so she decides to, stay, but she makes a few little comments, every time, Haley says something, she'll make a few little comments, but Bill is excited that they're just there together. He wants them to build a relationship. So we go to Danny, Chelsea, and Kat. Kat comes in, and Chelsea's video with the phone, being knocked out of the guy's hand at Orphe Jeans is going viral. So she's upset about that, and she wants to know what to do. And Danny suggests that she, do a live stream. And she says, well, okay, that's a good idea, but let me call my lawyers because I don't want to do anything to disrupt Madison's case. So she calls Bill and Naomi, and, she talks about the video going viral. She also talks about, doing the live stream and what did they think about it. And so they give her advice on that, and they tell her not to mention Madison's case at all. So she does that, and then they put her on speaker because they hear Danny talking in the background. And so Danny gives her suggestions, and Bill says that's a good idea, and Haley is upset. So she says something smart. And Kat wants to know if she can mention Chelsea Cat in the live stream because someone said on the viral video that their purses were sturdy enough to, hit somebody with or something like that. And so she wanted her to mention, the Chelsea Cat bags. And he said that it was okay. So Bill said it was okay. So that's pretty much all of that interaction. And then we have Eva, Leslie, Ted, and Isaiah. So this is Eva's pre-birthday party and dinner. And they're all together, and Isaiah is, preparing a meal. He makes mac and cheese. I think it was truffle mac and cheese. The whole time, well, I won't say the whole time, but some of the time, Leslie, was making little comments about his cooking and him not being able to cook, and that, she mentioned some expensive cake that she wanted to get. And Eva told Leslie that her and Isaiah like to keep things low key. So she made comments throughout the dinner, and then finally they sit down to eat, and Leslie, likes the mac and cheese, and they have, a conversation, just with dinner, and she's making comments about Isaiah being able to cook better than his mom, and Isaiah really doesn't like the comments, and Ted doesn't really like the comments. But she makes a few comments, and then they get to the point where they exchange gifts. She buys Eva this expensive necklace. I think it matches a gift that she gave her, on another, I think it was Christmas. She gave her a gift, and this was a match to that. And so her dad, Ted, gave her a sentimental gift. He gave her a bear from when, this is something for the little girl. And then he gave her another gift. And then Ted convinces Leslie that, they need to leave. So they finally leave, and they leave Isaiah and Eva together. And during that time, they're, cleaning up, and Isaiah slips and tells Eva he loves her. And Eva is shocked, but she's happy about it because she says that's what she wished for when she blew out the candles on her cupcake. So the next thing is Vanessa and Nicole. They're sitting at the country club, and Nicole is telling Vanessa that she had, thoughts of Ted, and Vanessa is, trying to encourage her to act on those thoughts. But Nicole is saying just because she thought about him doesn't mean that she should get back with him. And Vanessa is telling her, I'm not meaning get back with him. You could just, get with him, not get in a relationship. And so, they have their back and forth for a little while. And Nicole gets up to go to the restroom. And when Nicole gets up to go to the restroom, Leslie walks in and sits down with Vanessa. And so Vanessa is trying to get her up because she's saying that she's there with Nicole. Leslie thought she was there alone. But they have this conversation about Detective Malone. And Leslie says that he's not her forever bae. After the dinner she had, that she recognizes that Ted is the only one for her, pretty much. And you have Vanessa looking around, feeling awkward because she knows the conversation that her and Nicole just had. And then last but not least, Nicole and Ted. On the way to the ladies' room, Nicole runs into Ted. He, was having feelings about the whole party, dinner situation. So he wanted to relieve some stress. So he went for a jog. And during that time, Nicole is actually thinking about Ted. She has like a daydream about Ted, and then he calls her name, and she comes back to reality. So that's pretty much it with this episode. My only observation with this episode is I thought Leslie was going to be a lot more angrier that the dinner wasn't in public. But she made comments, but I felt like she would, did better than, she's done in the past. So, I just wanted to acknowledge that because I just felt like she was just going to throw a fit because it was so small and, there was not a crowd or anything to see her with Ted. But, all in all, she did well. So that's all that I have for this recap video. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will talk to you later.